All right, so now number 5 on the vector help sheet. One of these, we have 2 vectors that are set at a cardinal direction, then we have 1 vector that is set at an angle, all right? And so we want the overall resultant. So there is, again, no real hard and fast rule that says every component must be set at a cardinal direction. They can be set at an angle. So that's what we're gonna do here, all right? So we're gonna do this 24 kilometers, 30 degrees east of north. So we have a little bit of work to do on this one before we can really get into this. All right, so A is what we're gonna do here. So 35 kilometers north, 35 kilometers north. We're gonna go 17 kilometers east. And then we've got 24 kilometers, 30 degrees east of north, which is somewhere around there. Okay, and so that's 24 kilometers. That means my resultant, and if you need like a straight edge to hit this, that's fine. My resultant ends up being about that. Okay, now, before I can really do any math, what I've got to do is this vector that's at an angle, I've got to figure out what its x and y components are, all right? Because this vector at 30 degrees would be the same thing as y plus x, so I can just figure out what those are. Now, we have done this skill. This skill is what we did back in number 3 yesterday on the vector lecture help sheet. So we're going to do that first, okay? So I'm going to find my y and my x, and I'm going to have to use SOHCAHTOA to do that. X is my opposite, y is my adjacent. So to find x, I'll need to use sine. So sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So the sine of 30 is equal to opposite, which is x over 24. Multiply both sides by 24, so it'll be 24 sine 30. So that x, I happen to know the sine of 30 is 0.5, so this is 12, but I'll have to take my word for it. 24 sine 30, 12, all right? And then we'll roll right into, so we know that this is 12 kilometers. And now we can figure out y is the adjacent side, so that's cosine is equal to adjacent of theta, is adjacent over hypotenuse. My handwriting is not the best right now. And so that would be cosine of 30 is equal to y over 24. Multiply both sides by 24. 24 cosine 30, and punch that into the calculator, 20.8 kilometers. So we know that this is 20.8 kilometers. All right, now we have just components. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to subtotal, all right? We're just going to subtotal. And so we're going to do what we did back in number 4. We're going to make a T-chart, north-south, east-west. So my north, we're going 35 kilometers positive, and then we go the next 20.8 positive. And then the east-west direction, we go 17 positive, and then we go another 12 positive. Total those up. This will be 55.8 kilometers, and this is 29 kilometers. And so then we draw a set of components down here, where this is 55.8, and this is 29, and we draw an overall sketch, R. And so now it is the same thing that we've done already. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Due to some time restraints, I have shown you this a bunch, but I'm just gonna use the Pythagorean theorem to find R real quick. So I'll show you on the calculator. 8 squared plus 29 squared, right? And then we square root that. We get 62.9. I want that angle there. And so that is the inverse tangent of 29 over 55.8 will give me theta. And so theta will be inverse tangent, 29 divided by 55.8. We get 27.5 degrees. Oh, that's 27.5 degrees. And so now my R would be 62.9 kilometers, 27.5 degrees, and that would be east of north. All right, go ahead and do either B and C, all right? And my answer key should be up near the front of the room on the table. And so you can check that out if you need to. And then you will move on to the second video here in just a moment.